This Coast to Coast Entertainment Network program is brought to you by Beside Me Bracelets. Our bracelets are handmade for any occasion. Use the promo code Coast to Coast for 15% off. Visit their website at besideme.com. Suzanne's Paparazzi Jewelry. With 24-hour shopping available, use the code 160920 and show her some love, like she showed us. Reaper Apparel Company, a commitment to live your most authentic way every single day. Visit reaperapparelco.com for more information and a look at all of their apparel offerings. And by Good Day Embroidery, your local source for custom embroidery, screen printing, and more. Log on to gooddayembroidery.com for more information.
All right, hello everybody. Welcome to Entertainment Hour here on Coast to Coast Entertainment Network. I know it's been a while. I've had some things going on, but it's good to be back here. I'm of course joined by Crispy Bacon and then Dragon Viper below us, but never below us, of course. How is everybody doing? I'll start with Chris.
Not too bad. Been kind of raining here, and weather been nice though. But glad to have you back, and show should be good today.
Yeah, definitely. I think all three of us have had something in common lately, and that's been just the weather. Dragon Viper, how is it where you are, and how are you?
I'm doing good. It's like what Chris said. I'm glad you're back. I hope I did well with those shows covering for you. So, and yeah, it's been raining, off and on here too. So over on the Oregon coast. So yeah, not liking it very much. I can't wait till summer.
Yeah, thinking about it, right outside I have something where if it rains, it makes some noise. And literally, like 2 minutes ago, it stopped. Just right before we were going to do the show here. So I hope there's no more rain so you'll be able to hear me. Okay, so let's get into the Coast to Coast Network, right? So many new shows coming up. Let's start off, on the weekend, usually there is morning tailgate for NFL football coverage. I think we'll get back to that next Saturday or Sunday, Chris, I'm guessing?
Yeah.
Because this week we are not going to cover the Pro Bowl games, whatever horrible crap that is. That's just not worth it, I guess.
You could cover the college All-Star game.
I'd rather cover that. Yeah, I'd rather cover that. The guys out here, Dragon Viper, if you don't know what I'm talking about, these football players are out here playing dodgeball. They're playing golf. They're playing capture the flag, pulling the rope, or whatever it's called.
Tug of war,
duh. But instead of football exercises to see who's the best at whatever, they're doing this stuff.
That is weird.
They should do accuracy passes.
I miss that. Oh God,
drills.
Yeah. It's just amazing just how things have changed. Okay, so you can find all that coverage then, and then Monday, I think Chris, we had a new show come on, right?
We normally do the bro code, but I think it was for that night. It was C2C at night or something like that.
That's what that was. So Alan had that
here and there.
Yeah, because that shocked me that one night. I was expecting bro code or something else, and it was like at night. What? Okay, Tuesday we have, of course, the what is it called? Rankum, yes.
Yes.
Tim and Brandon go through the interesting crazy laws of the states, and then some other rankings will come up, I bet. Wednesday, Sports Minute. Thursday, Creeping It Real. And Friday you have, of course, here with Entertainment Hour. Chris, did I miss any? I know I
Between
did.
the Ropes Tuesday.
Tuesdays, that's it.
Yeah.
You find that around 8 p.m. I
Yeah.
want to say on the West.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
9 Central, wherever you may be. I feel like I'm missing something else, but I don't think I am.
And when everybody's up to it, Thursday nights at 8 is Kicking It with Ace and
Oh, yes.
Dale.
I know that hasn't been, I think. No, that was on last week, right? This
It
week?
was.
Yeah,
It wasn't
that
this
was
week.
on
It
yesterday.
was last week. Yeah.
I've been so out of it, but hopefully I get back in it. So let's start off with the show. And unfortunately, there was some news that came around, I want to say 11:40-ish, 11:30-ish here on the West Coast. Carl Weathers passed away today. He was 76 years of age. You know him as Apollo Creed on Rocky, on all the Rocky movies, basically, or 3 of them, I should say. I think 4. I can't remember. But he's also in Mandalorian. Happy Gilmore, you know him as the caddy with the plastic can, I think. Action Jackson. That was, I think, I don't know if it's a TV series or a movie, but I've seen him in that. He's done some other things as well. He is a beloved father, brother, grandfather, partner, and friend. He was born in 1948 in New Orleans. He appeared in more than 75 films and TV shows in his 50-year screen career. Just think about that. In The Mandalorian, he played Grief Karga, the head of the Bounty Hunters Guild. If anyone, I know Christy out there probably knows where that is or whom that is. He was a nominee in 2021 for that role, and also directed a pair of episodes in season 2 and 3. So he was still going strong here with The Mandalorian. He had 4 Oscar-winning, he voiced Combat Carol in the Oscar-winning Toy Story 4. I did not know that. And originated the character for the 2013 TV special Toy Story of Terror. I didn't know that either. He co-starred in Predator in 1987, opposite of Arnold Schwarzenegger. I didn't know that either. But of course, he's well known as what's his name? Apollo Creed, of course, in the Rocky movies. Derek Chubbs Peterson was that golf coach in Happy Gilmore. Also, I think, he was a graduate of San Diego State University. He gave the commencement address there in 1987. And also, he was a football player. He spent 2 years with the Oakland Raiders. And I know they had something for him today.
He also played for...
No. Go ahead, Chris.
I was going to say, he also played a couple years or a year, I can't remember, with the BC Lions of Canadian football. That's
what that was. I was trying to remember if he played anywhere else. I didn't even look, but I figured he played somewhere else. So I'll start with Chris. How will you remember Carl Weathers?
No, I mean, his passing is going to be, felt across entertainment and fans and co-workers, around the entertainment business. But everybody's going to lose a good talent. It's going to be hard to, it's always going to be hard to come back from this, I guess, but he's going to be missed.
Yeah, and Dragon Viper, I know you've seen him probably in miscellaneous things, but the things I've read off, what will you remember him from?
Well, I mean, you mentioned Happy Gilmore, one of my favorite Adam Sandler movies, and he was really good in that. I did watch, what you didn't mention was The Comebacks. And he was the coach for one of the football teams on that movie. And I mean, Rocky movies and things like that. I mean, it sucks to lose a good actor. And I would have liked to see him make more movies, but hey, at least we got what we got with him now. So He will be missed, and yeah.
If there is another Creed, my guess is that there will be another. If there is another edition of that, there will be some type of scene in there where he's remembered. The whole
Tribute.
lifestyle. Yeah, I think that would be something to remember him from. Like the things I read off, I remembered some things. Some of them I just learned today. I probably have to go back and watch Action Jackson. I remember seeing the title, the cover of it, but I don't think I've actually watched it. But yeah, he'll be missed definitely, and he's one of those pillars in the African American acting communities, because we've seen him in big roles. Like that was a good thing to see him in big roles, and then we'll see, where the funeral is held and all that. So yeah, rest in peace to Carl Weathers. Again, he passed away today, this almost afternoon, at the age of 78. Let's get to some other news here. So Drew Carey. Now, you know him from, of course, the Drew Carey Show. He was a stand-up comedian back in the 80s and 90s. I think he made his first appearance on a Johnny Carson show. If you see that on YouTube, you'll be amazed. He's kind of looked the same all through the years. He kind of lost some weight, gained it back, lost some weight, kind of gained it back. Excuse me, but trying to find stories here, and the one thing I found out was Drew Carey said he attempted suicide twice and then wondered who would miss him. And you kind of think of others who have done this in the acting community, and even now apparently he has some dark thoughts about death. Now he hosts Price is Right. Of course, he's been doing that, I think, since a couple of decades, almost a couple of decades now, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
But he had a chat with Chris Wallace, the show host, about his mental health and struggles with depression. Once when he was 18, and then another when he was in his 20s, trying to make it, in the business. And it's funny that, or not funny, but it's just odd that you don't hear about some because their name isn't big, but you hear about those suicide attempts and the people who need help when they're big and a celebrity. He said the first time was during a frat party, and he was so mad at everybody, so mad that everyone was having a good time, walking down the stairs, and everybody drinking. Like, what the hell are they so happy about? I think that it goes on to say he found himself so angry that people were so happy and decided he was tired of life, and then who would miss me? And he says even now, even throughout the years, he says that he still tries to fight off depression and the mental health issues. And then one thing that stood out, he said a lot of times I think to myself, like, if I die, I'm just going to have my body cremated, no funeral, and anything associated with like my mementos and stuff, you can just burn them, give them away, like, who cares? We should note he's in a better place lately. So that's basically the story from what I've seen. And again, these stories are good to get out there just in case somebody else is going through something. I'll start off with you, Dragon Viper. Now, we've always seen Drew Carey, in a happy-go-lucky way, and then this came out, about life when he was younger and the feelings that he had. What was your reaction to this story?
I think about comedians, and one thing they have in common is, I'm not saying every comedian out there, I'm just saying some comedians out there, all they have one thing in common, and that's the fact that one way or another, sometime in their life, they whether if it's current or in the past, they suffer from depression, and they use the a mask of being happy and a mask of being funny, so that they can hide their depression, hide that they have those thoughts in their head. And, with Drew Carey, whether if it was his weight, whether if it was, he mentioned that he didn't understand why people were so happy all the time. It's just, his comedy and him being happy, in front of people is just a mask. And I think that, if he's even still having these thoughts, maybe having a little help along the way, wouldn't hurt him. Because I wouldn't want to see him be like a Robin Williams or, any of those other comedians that did commit suicide. So, maybe, yeah, like I said, maybe he would want, maybe he needs to get a little bit of help when he starts feeling that dark, presence in his head and things like that. So, it's terrible to hear, but on the other hand, it's like I said, some comedians do go through that. They put on a mask and have people think that everybody, that they're happy all the time, and when they're alone, they're not. So I hope things get better for them.
Yeah, it seems like I was looking up the list of celebrities who, commit suicide, and Freddie Prinze, it's someone I didn't really know growing up. I knew his son more, but he was only 22, and then he had a history of depression, going through a divorce at that time. At 22, when you're acting, when you're working, that's just so young to get married. Ray Combs committed suicide, the Family Feud host. I didn't know that at all, but it just shows you. And you mentioned right away Robin Williams. That obviously, that I still remember that day. It was a real dark day, and it just shocked the heck out of everybody, because you never really get to see the side of, the real side of people, I guess. You only see them when they're out on stage, and you think they'll be fine all the time. Chris, what did you think when you saw this news?
Yeah. You see a lot of celebrities these days, now, coming out with stories like that. I'm kind of on the same lines of what Dragon Viper was saying about how not every comedian, but most use comedy like that to maybe mask some kind of pain they're having, mental health kind of thing. But a lot of them are starting to open up more now, and it's becoming more public.
I think more acceptable too, as Chris kind of.
I think overall it helps. Yeah.
Go ahead.
Oh, I was done, but yeah, it's more acceptable.
That's what I think, is like, hey, now there's an avenue to talk about it. Social media is a big thing. And kind of speaking of social media, well, apps, let's get to the next topic here. Terry Hatcher, you remember her from the Superman movies, Desperate Housewives. That's where I knew her from. Among other things she did. She's 59 years of age, but she's definitely done with dating apps. After one of those, Hinge is a dating app, thought she was catfishing. And it's just weird. Sometimes you'll get, these random friend requests or emails from people that you think are real, but they aren't. So never click on it or touch it. But she did mention she's over the dating app scene, getting the boot from Hinge. She said she tried them all and tried my last one. She said that, I'm going to say to the universe that she's open and vulnerable and putting herself out there. So she's really old school, and she thought the apps would be good. But, I never thought she would be single at this time. I thought someone would have scooped her up, in the entertainment business. But I haven't heard or seen her in so long. But it just shows you, if you're a celebrity, you're on an app or whatever like that, people aren't really going to take you serious. But she was being genuine in this matter. So, Chris, what did you think when you saw this funny story?
I've tried the apps, and yeah, I don't know. It seems like it doesn't work out. I've heard people use the apps, and it seems to work for them, but I'd probably just stick with doing the traditional.
Yeah, let's get into your love life more, Chris.
Yeah.
She mentioned here that she asked the Hinge app, she said, "Can I have my money back since she kicked me off?" And they apologized, and I guess she didn't get her money back, but I think she's fine. So she said, "I'm over it." That's just an odd thing for this to happen. Dragon Viper, have you seen these dating apps, and has anybody, mistaken you for a celebrity?
I've actually seen a few people use them. And I've actually watched the TV show Catfish, or the MTV show. And there are people that actually do fall for, oh, this celebrity's talking to me, this celebrity's talking to me, and come to find out it's some 30-year-old man or woman, living in their parents' basement trying to play tricks on their friends. I think the original way is to go out there and find somebody, because you have to deal with fake accounts, people having fake accounts saying that they're this person or that person, and they're not. And on top of that, you have these robot people, robots now, where computer systems are setting up accounts, and so those are fake. The best way to do it is just go out there. But like I said, I know a few people that actually go on apps and try it out, and they fall for it. They fall for it with scams with money. They fall for it with celebrities. And it's just like, you can't fall for it, people. I just saw a news thing the other day where somebody was scammed $30,000 because they thought that this guy was real and really actually cared about the person, and ended up getting scammed and lost 30 grand. So yeah, Terry, being done with the dating apps is actually probably a good idea, because I'm sure it's a lot harder with celebrities getting somebody online, because you have that other person going, yeah, right, you're not who you say you are. And then, so it's better just to go out and find someone that way.
I haven't been on one of these dating sites in a while. I'm probably taken. But I remember a time, long time ago, I was messaged by someone named Betty White and a picture of her. And I'm like, hell no. That can't be real. That's weird. This is like right before she died too, so it's kind of weird. That's kind of when I got out of it, I guess. But Jean, oh yeah, says, "Hi guys, this is your mother, right?"
Yeah.
Right. Hi, Chrissy Wilson says, "Hi everyone. If we have any other comments, bring them on, Chris and everyone." She says, "Thank God dating apps weren't around when my husband and I met in 1999. That's a great thing to be together for so long. I only wish to have that, for as long as that is and more." So let's get to our next topic before we start getting into, Love Connection 2 and 2. This story kind of this question came to me, I think, a couple of nights ago, and I just thought about it with the Super Bowl tickets being the highest
high.
at $2 million for a suite. The cheapest, highest ticket is $9,000
Yeah.
plus. So my question to everyone here is, how much would you pay to see your favorite act? So it could be musical, comedian, anything you could think of. I'll start with Dragon Viper, and this one is interesting because you always mention a band that never comes to your area, or if they do, it's in Seattle.
Yeah. And I mean, it just depends on the act, I mean, if Metallica were to show up and play at a venue around Oregon, I definitely, I mean, I'd probably pay up to like $300-400 just to go, because it's Metallica, and but yeah, it depends on the venue and who the act is. It's like if WrestleMania were to come to Oregon, I'd try and figure out a way to get WrestleMania tickets, and would probably pay a top dollar depending on how I would get the money. But yeah, it somewhere between $400 for a really good band, and about probably $1,000 for WrestleMania tickets.
For me, I couldn't come up with anything because I don't like music live unless it's something I've never heard of. But when I've heard album versions of certain groups I like or acts I like, I could just do that. And then comedians, you can't really be funny now like you used to be. So I could just go back and watch something. I don't have to go out for it. So I really couldn't find anything for me. But Chris, what's yours? How much would you pay to see one of your favorite acts? And what would be your favorite act?
Maybe $400 to $500. I wish the Super Bowl was about $400 to $500.
Yeah.
A lot of people would go more and be more affordable. I mean, it's still going to be high dollar, but you can kind of save up $400 or $500 before the event. Concerts would be good. It may be they also charge no matter the event at too high of a price for like front row or middle seats, or
the fees.
Yeah. So try to make that a little cheaper.
Well, see, and here's the thing, we have, down in Roseburg, about an hour from where I live, they have the fair every year. And what I like is the fact that all you have to pay to go see a concert is the price of the fair. So you go in to the fair, you pay, the price for the fair, and you can go. I mean, sometimes you can't get like front row areas. That's extra money, but you can actually go and see the concert from the middle to all the way to the back, and all you have to do is pay for the fair price. So and I've probably seen I want to say 5-6 concerts in Roseburg, maybe 7, and all I had to do was pay the $10 to get in, $7 to get in, something like that. So yeah. Duh.
I was trying to think how they do it here in San Diego at their fair, but I think you have to pay separately. I would think you have to for those acts, because here they'll get some big time, bands or groups or whatever. Something tells me they either charge it higher for that day to see them. That's all I could think of. But I've never done that.
Here's the thing about being in San Diego and in Dallas. You guys get all these big acts. Guess what? Oregon really doesn't. So, you guys are lucky on that aspect.
Yeah, I wondered who came to Portland recently on a tour. I can't think of one. You know, I don't know if I would go see Heart. You know, I'm hoping the sisters get back together for their new tour, but I don't know if that's going to happen. But maybe I would go watch them, but I wouldn't spend too much on them. But I guess that would be mine. If I see Heart or, you know, some type of grunge act or whatever, you know, different rap groups together or something. I don't know. But I would mainly get a suite or something so I wouldn't have to be around too many people. Maybe not get as hooked on the secondhand, you know, high, depending on what concert you're at.
Well,
All right. Yeah. Now this one is, I don't know if we're going to get embarrassed or we're going to enjoy this, but we're going to talk about our first celebrity crushes because I also had this question come up to me in my mind the other day, and I'm thinking to myself, I can't remember that long ago. So it really comes down to what I guess watched first or what I saw first. I don't know. But for me, this movie House Arrest, it was back in I think 1994, but they would always show it like sometime in January on NBC. They would show it on a random night, like on a Sunday night when nothing was going on, I guess. But it had Jennifer Love Hewitt in it. And, you know, she went on to do so much other stuff, but that's where I remember her first. I remember how, you know, good looking she, you know, was, and how she was made out to be, of course. So I guess that was my first celebrity crush. I've had many after that. I think mine is still Tina Fey. And I don't even know why. Like she doesn't portray herself to be out there, but she's funny, she's quirky, she's smart. You know, she's written for SNL. She's very smart. She's been in the comedy business a long time. I don't know, something about her. She's always been good looking to me. And there's been a few times. I remember this one time at this bar. She came on one of those commercials. You know, today's the day. And it had like a yoga outfit on when she was window shopping. And this one guy who was sitting next to me, and he was like, man, I've always had a thing for Tina Fey. And I yelled out, get out of my head. It's just the funniest thing. And we talked about her for like 5 minutes or whatever, and we went on back to watch whatever game we were watching. But it's just funny how sometimes, you know, you could think like others and it might not be like others. So I'll start off with Dragon Viper. I'm interested to know, what was your first celebrity crush?
Oh man, I actually had two, and but I'd have to say either Alyssa Milano because of Who's the Boss,
Wow.
or yeah, I'm dating myself here, or country singer Leanne Rimes.
Yeah.
My mom can attest to this and vouch for this. That I was obsessed over her, but I'd also have to say Alyssa Milano as well. So
It's amazing to think how long Alyssa Milano's been doing acting. I know now she's, you know, out there in the world, and recently I saw her ask for money for her, you know, Little
I
League
heard this.
baseball team for her son. And I'm thinking to myself,
Yeah.
you should have money.
she's been going through her health stuff, I think, too.
It
So,
seems like it. She's really out there. Let's just say that.
yeah.
I just felt that was weird. It was like, you shouldn't have a GoFundMe. I don't know. Chris,
Or
what was
maybe
yours? Go ahead.
I was gonna say maybe it was just for the team, not necessary for
I think it
you know
was.
her son.
Yeah, but everybody should have money where she lives, I'm guessing.
Sure.
Chris, what was your first celebrity crush?
I guess my first celebrity crush was back when she was on, I guess, Disney Channel, Miley Cyrus.
Yeah.
Uh, before she became a really big star and all that. But we'll
Did
go
you
that.
did you like her? You liked her, when she was Hannah Montana, right?
Right.
Okay. After that, she, I don't know. She
Yeah.
just bam,
Right.
bam, bam, bam. To say, to be safe here on this platform,
Mm-hmm.
he just went out there. She always had
Yeah.
her tongue out, singing and whatever. Music is not as good as it
Right.
used to be. 'Cause I grew up in that kind of era as well, or a little bit after, but I understood why people liked her. And then she really changed where she was, available to everyone. And all of
Mm-hmm.
that, down home, girl side just went away. She was no longer Billy Ray's daughter.
Mm-mm.
Boom. But it's just an amazing transition, people have. When you become a star, when you're more wanted, when you grow up, everybody's waiting for her to grow up, it seemed like. And man, she's still out there. She's doing great covers of songs from what I've heard. I gotta get on that when I listen to it. Um, let's get to our next topic here. It's one of our uh, mainstays. But either we're going to preview or recap a movie or TV show or video game we played. I'll start off. I'm trying to remember what I saw the other day, but I'm having the hardest time. Oh, it was The Doors. So it had Jim Morrison being played by Val Kilmer,
Mm-hmm.
and then a host of other. Meg Ryan, I think, was the girlfriend or wife. But it's really dramatic. It was like in 1990, early 90s. That's all I can say. But it was really detailed. I mean, it was really, really good. And it's amazing to me now because I was taking a look at what Val Kilmer looks like and what he really hasn't been doing anything, and how he looks now. Like someone or something kind of destroyed him. It seemed like, but he did a great job playing that role. You know, there were so many scenes where he was drugged up. Some chief Native American would always come by and just try to help him out in his head, I guess. But it's just a crazy, trippy, crazy movie for people who like that. But I saw The Doors, and that was crazy to me. And of course, everyone knows how he died in Paris at a hotel.
Mm-hmm.
He's just one of those musicians who died at 27.
Yep.
Jimi Hendrix, Janis Joplin, Kurt Cobain. I think there's a host of others, but
Oh
he's
yeah.
in that list. I'll start off with Chris. Has there anything
Yeah.
you saw or wanted to see?
I finally saw the. I'm probably way behind, but that's okay. The way things are now. But so finally saw the first episode of Ted, the show.
Yeah,
Not bad. I liked it. Um, I guess it kind of goes off the movie premise, but when they're younger. But it's
yeah,
pretty
right,
good.
right. I liked it because I liked the what I saw from the previews and all that because everybody seems to do this with movies, with video games or whatever, where they pick a character or pick a movie or whatever, a
Mhm.
franchise, and they just go back in time with a certain character who
Yeah,
was whatever age at that at that time, but they go back in that life.
like what
And
a prequel or origin story, something like that.
yeah, that's perfect there. I just like because it was in the 90s, and I like
Hmm.
really anything before this time. Dragon Viper, what's something you watched or something you want to watch lately?
I actually watched a movie from 2018, and no surprise, it was a horror. It's called The Farm,
I've heard of that.
and it has Alec Gaylord and Nora Yesayan. I don't know how to pronounce it, and Ken Volok, and it's just pretty much about this couple that ends up going in the middle of nowhere. They're
Oh
tired.
my
They go to a
god.
hotel, and um, then they get people have been getting murdered by these guys in farm animal masks. From sheeps to pigs to goats to but all these farm animal masks, and people are getting killed by them. And pretty much they get tied up and caged up, the couple, and they try to escape. And I'm not giving the rest of the movie, but it is a little gory, but it is a horror movie, and I actually did kind of like it. So
I'm looking at it now, and it says it's based off the real life exploits of Belle Gunness, America's most prolific female serial killer. This farm was in Indiana, and yeah, like you mentioned, they have pictures of all these, farm animal faces or masks on these humans, and it's thrilling, disturbing, and brutal, like it's mentioned. It didn't do well in the theaters or whatever, but man, if you need a scare, I guess you go there. Oh
and
wow.
and what I find interesting is they used the sheep mask, and I was watching it and I compared it to the Wyatt family in the WWE.
I was thinking the same thing.
Wow.
No.
Maybe when I'm not eating or something, I'll check that out in the daytime or
definitely
something.
check it out.
Yeah. Whoa. All right, so let's get to another one of our stalwarts. Our music album of the week. I'll go first because this one I wanted to do for a while, and I kept forgetting about. But I haven't heard it all the way through. But the Beverly Hills Cop, the first one, the soundtrack is really, really good, and I never knew how many songs are on there until about a while back. But of course, everybody knows Axel F is the one song in the movie that is played throughout, and whenever they're scoping something out. By Harold Fallmalter. He's also done the Top Gun theme, among others. Or not, one of the Top Gun themes. Patti LaBelle has New Attitude and Stir It Up. Those kind of get you going. The Neutron Dance by the Pointer Sisters. And then The Heat Is On by Glenn Frey. That's the opening scene around Detroit. And then Eddie, tries to take it into his own hands and does, but he destroys half of the city, basically. There's some other songs in this soundtrack as well, but I definitely had to give a shout out because the one songs I mentioned, I definitely know, and some of them I didn't know were in the actual soundtrack. Maybe I'll go back and watch the movie and the other movies and see how they are, but that's my definite album. What's yours, Dragon Viper?
Mine is I had to go rap this week.
Oh.
So Ja Rule, the album Last Temptation.
Hey,
I really enjoy that album. In fact, that's the only real album I'll hear from him. I mean, there's a few songs from other albums I'll hear from him, but that album specifically, I remember, going to work every morning. I'd put in that CD and I would listen to it. I mean, you have a few songs like Mesmerize, The Warning, and Last Temptation, just to name a few. And yeah, I could definitely listen through that CD constantly. I do now. I have it on my playlist. So
you know, it's kind of sad for me, for someone who really likes like rap and hip hop. I've never heard that album. I just know Mesmerize.
Wow. Yeah,
I know.
Pretty good.
I know Thug Lovin' because Bobby Brown is in it too. I've probably seen it, seen like the music video, but I only know Memorize. That's crazy. So back then, I didn't really have albums. I would hear whatever like the radio came up, whatever I heard on the street or whatever. But yeah, I've never actually gone through it. Maybe I will if I need to wake up or something.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
Let's hope though he does not ever try to plan, another outing like he did that. What was that one thing he did? It was just a terrible, terrible experience for those people. It was like the Fire Fest or something like that, and he just screwed all these people out of money.
Oh,
Yeah, he just, I don't know. He should have just stuck to music. I know he's done some tours with Ashanti, I think,
yeah.
out there. But
And
man,
he's
that's amazing to hear that. Yeah, I'll take a look at that. My Google one day. Crispy Bacon, what's yours?
Yeah, well, originally I couldn't find one, but I know the Super Bowl's coming in a few weeks, or not in a few weeks, about a week or two, and I don't know the album, but I know that Usher probably had a few good albums and hopefully a couple popular songs. So we'll go somewhere around there, around Usher's.
Yeah,
Oh
that's
yeah,
good.
he has songs I think since I want to say 94, 95, I think, and he was really young at the time. He might have been 10 or 11, I want to say, but he really didn't blast off until probably like 96, and then little by little it started getting really, really good. Early 2000s, that was definitely his time. I mean, all the hits that he'll probably play at the Super Bowl will probably come out of there. I know he's done some new stuff as well that has been really good. But I think I'll watch this performance, or at least listen to it. On next Sunday coming up here for Super Bowl Sunday.
And even it was great to see Usher, known as his real name, Raymond. It was
Usher
on,
Raymond.
huh?
Usher Raymond, yeah.
Yeah, but it was on. Oh man, I just had it and I lost it. Oh, hold on. It was. I can't believe I forgot. It was. I'm not. Give me a minute. I'm sorry.
Yeah. No, one thing I was gonna say, I think, man, he's got at least 10 songs he could do. I know at the Super Bowl, he could do like a collage, and the collage would be long for his song tracks.
Unfortunately, it'll have to be like 30 seconds each.
Yeah,
Or
we saw
15
that, I
seconds.
think, last year with Rihanna. We saw that last year with her, Rihanna.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's been a stalwart forever. I think I don't know if he owns part of the Cleveland Cavs still. I would have to look that up. Yeah, he owned them back in the last decade. I don't know if he still does, but he owns a share of them. So he actually has an NBA ring from 2016.
Lucky.
All right. As Dragon Viper gets that, I'll check out the next topic. It's all right. So some new shows and movies that are streaming, and thank you to Rotten Tomatoes who brought this out. If both of you have the list here, some notable ones that I've seen was Mr. and Mrs. Smith. Of course, we know the movie that had Brad Pitt and Angelina Jolie a couple of decades ago. Can't believe I'm saying that. It just came out today. It's a TV series, I think, with Donald Glover and Maya Erskine. But they kind of it's a little different here, but it still has the same premise, I guess, but it's probably a little different, a little more international than the movie. Uh, the next one, it has, oh goodness, what's her name? It's Graciela. Oh, she was on Modern Family. Modern Family.
Oh.
Yeah,
I can't think of it.
I'll get it right now. Anyway, I heard that's a big thing. It's a woman, Colombian businesswoman, Griselda Blanco. She's played by Sofia Vergara. That's what I'm thinking of.
Okay, yeah.
That's already been out of that series, and I heard that's a
Okay.
really good thing. You never seen her in like a serious role, so I'm interested to see how she plays on that. Masters,
Got Talent.
yeah, definitely. No. I know she's only known for a couple of things, but she's a great actress. Masters of the Pacific. That's also from the producers of Band of Brothers and the Pacific. That would be on Apple TV Plus if you like the World War II style, fighter pilots. I think that's something everyone there will be interested in. Disney's Percy Jackson and the Olympians. That's a new addition there, I believe. It's probably on Disney Plus, I'm guessing. Let's see. Ted, like you mentioned, that's a Peacock original there. So if you have Peacock, definitely go check that out if you saw 2 movies. Reacher, that series on Prime. Let's see. Beef with Stephen Yeun and Ali Wong. Ali Wong is pretty funny there. Any of these stand out to you guys? I'll start with Chris.
No, not really.
Yeah, I'll mention one thing on Hulu and FX, The Bear. I've been wanting to see that. It's about that cook or chef that helps the inner city Chicago area, I guess, and it's kind of like a not Kitchen Nightmares, but it's kind of a Scared Straight, but with cooking. That's all I can explain how it is. I've never seen the episode, but that's just what I get from it. All right, Dragon Viper, what do you see any that you're interested in here?
Yeah, there was one, and it's called American Nightmare. It's on Netflix, and just pretty much about a couple being accused of staging a home invasion and a kidnapping in 2015. But yeah, American Nightmare. That's all I read about so far. But American Nightmare is something I'm interested in watching.
I was just thinking that's every day now. American Nightmare.
Yep.
So some movies in theaters. Argyle. I've heard so much about that one. Jason Statham in The Beekeeper. Mean Girls. Now this is kind of like
a spin-off.
Yeah, of the movie back in 2003 or 4, which I loved. Wonka's been out there. Migration. This weekend, Argyle will be out, and The Promised Land, The Chosen, among others, fitting in. There's some I've really never heard of, but the ones that I mentioned should be all really good. I'll say Dragon Viper, is there any movies in theaters? If you had to go tonight, was there one you would watch here?
Well, there's one, but it doesn't actually come out till the 13th of this month, and it's called Cell Phone. I would actually like to go see that.
Cell Phone, okay.
Yeah, I've seen a preview for it during a wrestling event, but it looks scary. Yeah.
Yeah, maybe I'll check that out. All right. Let's move on to the top 35. We won't go through all of them, of course, but if we have that out, the new most anticipated new shows of 2024. Remember, there was a strike of a year in Hollywood and production delays. So TV is back. There's a full swing here. And thank you to Hopper's Bazaar for their article here and what we're all missing and what we're all going to see.
And we're also talking renewed shows too, or just like totally brand new?
No, well, here's some brand new ones, but if there's one, I know you guys are talking about something last time. We talked about shows coming back. If you guys wanted to talk about that, Chris, what was the one you were thinking of?
Oh no, I was just asking about what you're gonna go over. But
Oh yeah, just about this article here. Genius, the National Geographic. It's about MLK and Malcolm X. I think that's a dynamic that's different. That would be interesting to see. There's some other ones here. Not really ones that I'd be interested in. There's Avatar, The Last Airbender. That's coming out on Netflix. I know people are talking about that. The Walking Dead, The Ones Who Live. That's going to be on AMC this month. It's a spin-off from Rick Grimes for you Walking Dead fans there. I'll start off with you, Chris. Is there any ones you want to see here as I go through them?
no, not at the moment. I was looking through it and I didn't see anything.
Yeah, I kept seeing commercials for Elizabeth on CBS. It'll come out later this month. Elizabeth Tassoni is a quirky fan favorite character. She's played by Carrie Preston. She solves murders and gets into like the NYPD's business, I guess. I keep seeing commercials about that. Dragon Viper, any ones stand out to you?
For this year, no. I'm waiting for 2025.
And which one is that?
I'm waiting for Stranger Things 5.
That's right.
I'm waiting for that. I can't wait for it to come out, and I still have to, from what they're saying, I have to wait another year before I can actually watch it. So, yeah, as soon as 2025 rolls around, I'm hoping that it finally comes out. And when it comes to 2024 shows like that, nothing really interests me right now.
Yeah, none of the sitcoms, I know all of them are coming back, but none of them really stand out to me. I didn't watch it before the strike. I'm going to watch it after. All right, so let's get to our top 5.
I'm a big Survivor. I'm a big Survivor fan.
So they've been around since what, 2001, 2000? I want to say
2000.
that's been that's been around a long time, and I don't think I've ever seen an episode. I've seen clips though when Jimmy Johnson was on there. Wow.
Harry Hugaboom. But yeah.
I have a friend who really likes the Big Brother shows. I've never watched that either, but I know that's a CBS thing. I think.
That one's okay. It is.
Now, you guys here on the top 5 lists. I brought up what is your favorite wrestling movies. So I'll let you two go with this. I don't really know of any or seen any, but Chris, I'll go with you first. What's your top 5 wrestling movies of all time? What's your favorite, I guess?
I think you probably have seen. Yeah, I think you've probably seen or probably heard most of. If it'll come up on my computer. So you want a top 5?
Yeah. Make it tougher for you guys.
Number 1. Number 1 will be Wrestler. Number 2 would be Beyond the Mat. 3, No Holds Barred. 4, Ready to Rumble. And 5 would be Nacho Libre.
Oh, of course, Nacho Libre. I've seen that. Lots of great quotes in that movie. I know the wrestler. That was the one with Mickey Rourke, right?
Yeah.
Okay, I know that was critically acclaimed. Everybody really liked that one. The other ones I don't think I've seen. All right, Dragon Viper, what's yours?
Mine would be number 1, The Wrestler. Number 2, Man on the Moon. Number 3,
Yeah,
Beyond the Mat. Number 4, No Holds Barred. Number 5, Nacho Libre. And I have an honorable mention because I always have to. Fighting with My Family,
I remember that one.
oh yeah.
the movie about Paige's
That one's
life.
probably the truest. Yeah.
Well,
I think
no.
that was what like kind of a journey to get to the high ranks, I guess. Is how
Yeah,
you explain that movie
that's pretty
for the
much
young lady.
her life story about how she started and then would work her way up through her family's wrestling company and then move over to WWE companies. But and Chris, you mentioned one of the ones that's like almost real.
Yeah.
You also have Man on the Moon, and they're talking about oh, I'm blanking tonight. I'm tired.
Andy
Um
Kaufman.
yes, thank you. Andy Kaufman.
Okay.
So and that's pretty much real, as well as Beyond the Mat's pretty real too. So
Yeah, Jim Carrey just blew me away in that role right there. I've seen that maybe once or twice, and that funeral scene is always something. Um, because no matter what, if Andy, hurt someone's feelings, or if you're around him for so long, it seems like no matter what, everybody really liked him or loved him.
well
At least in the movie.
and here's the thing that I read up on and I've seen is the fact that Jim Carrey was scaring people because he was actually feeling like he was Andy, that he was reincarnated as Andy Kaufman.
Yeah.
So anything that Andy Kaufman did, Jim Carrey would do, and he would take that role seriously, and it scared and freaked certain people out who actually knew Andy Kaufman. So they said it was almost identical.
Well, that was good. That's how good Jim Carrey was and is. I don't think he's, played someone else other from that role. Where he played someone. I don't think he's ever done anybody else. So I can't think of anybody. I know he did impressions.
Yeah.
When he was a comedian and then on Living Color, among other things, and he was great at that. So you just kind of knew if he, played someone in a movie, it would be awesome. And that cast in there is pretty good too. You have Danny DeVito, Courtney Love, the wrestler. I'm trying to remember. They had that thing on Letterman. Was it Roddy Piper? I want to say that slaps him on the Letterman show, and they have a whole big thing about that. But yeah,
No,
that cast.
it was Jerry Lawler.
Jerry Lawler. That's right. Yeah, that's what it was. I knew it was someone in red. That's all I remember, basically. And tall and stood over, Andy. And Andy's got the neck brace on him already. Yeah, that was a really great movie. Maybe I'll go back and watch it if I can find it. Anyway, we're over the hour mark. I think we'll save trivia and whatever else another time. We'll get out of here on our final thoughts. Chris, what's yours?
Yeah, thanks everyone for watching and tuning in. I believe Bro Code should be back tonight, so stay tuned for that, and stay tuned for all of our shows here on Coast to Coast.
All right, Dragon Viper.
Yeah, thank you for everyone watching. Thank you for commenting. And I hope everybody has a good night, as I'm going to go to bed after this.
All right. Thank you for everybody who tuned in. You know, it's been a while since I've been on a show, but good to be back. We'll see uh, how how good I can get after this, and make this a weekly thing again. But thank you for everybody who watched. Make sure to watch all the coast to coast entertainment programming here on the network. I know there's so much more coming up too. I know eventually a roundtable show will come up that I know people will definitely enjoy and tune in and to talk about topics. We'll get that going too. I'm interested to see that. All right, Chris, let's get out of here. Thank you for watching, everybody for watching Entertainment Hour here on Coast to Coast. We'll see you next time.